All right, guys, so we're going to finish now. This is part 3 of how to set up your natal chart and, how to navigate it. So after this, this section here that we did, in part 1, I didn't go over what they mean. Like what does the moon represent, Mercury? That's going to be a totally different series when I get into the meanings of the signs and the planets and all of that. Notice right now I'm just kind of just telling you technically what it is, where it is, not the deep meanings or anything like that, or how to use it. All right. So we left off. We just need to cover Lilith, Ceres, Vesta, Juno, and Pallas Athena in this video. Hopefully we have enough time. So let's start off with Lilith. So Lilith is, well, first of all, there's a black moon Lilith and a true Lilith. When really digging deep into Lilith. We'll talk about that when I do a video just on Lilith. And you have to understand, if you're going to get into the math of formulas of how the moon orbits, you're going to get into some weird numbers, because you understand that the apogee is hypothetical. All right. So that's a little bit more advanced, and that's, understanding what the moon really does and how it orbits, because we're dealing with an ellipse shape and all of that. So if I'm going to give you the very quick definition, Lilith is really the dark side of the moon. That would be like a quick way to just start to understand it. And then once I shine light on, Lilith on its own lesson, will expand, what it means, the origin, and all the good stuff. But for now, just understand that. And now, let's go on to Ceres. Let's focus on what that is. There are different pronunciations, but roughly it is a shade of pink, but that's not why they call it Ceres. Anyway, it's always confused with an asteroid. It's not. It's a dwarf planet. And it's also the largest object in the asteroid belt. And it sits between Mars and Jupiter. All right? And it's really important. That's why most apps and books and, ephemeris and all of that always includes Ceres, because it's very important. And it's probably the second most massive body in the asteroid belt. But it's very powerful, and we will discuss this more in the future. And familiarize yourself with a little icon and know where yours is. Okay? Now, Juno is an asteroid of extreme importance, and I do mean extreme. I think Juno, I'm going to spend quite a couple of lessons on Juno, because there's so much material to cover on Juno, and I'm even going to share with you some of the stuff that I research and some of the stuff that I'm into with the asteroids, and also working with fixed stars. All right, so Juno has a cute little, it almost looks like a little magic wand, I guess you could say. And just be familiar where your magic wand is and what sign it's in. Then we have Pallas Athena. Pallas Athena. So some people say Athena, and some people just say Pallas. And Pallas is a really large asteroid. It's also on the asteroid belt, like Vesta and Ceres. But it's also a protoplanet. So it's really, really cool. And remember that it's the one with the little triangle, almost like a lollipop or an ice cream bar, I guess. Or whatever, whatever it reminds you of. But just be familiarized with that little logo, that little icon, that little glyph. It's actually called a glyph. And that way you can remember where it is in your natal chart. All right, so this concludes this lesson. We've gone over the section that's called the planets. Part 1, I show you the, where to look for all these little symbols in your chart, how to set up your chart. I navigate the main sections. And next, we're going to go into these colored lines, which is the language that planets are speaking. And I'm going to do a beginner's series on that. And then I'm going to go into the signs. And then I'm going to work on the houses. I also want to do a section on the a lot of the symbols that come up, like kites and yachts and grand trines and all kinds of stuff like that. Tons of stuff. Castles and rectangles. I want to shed light on this information, this data, where I'm going to be showing you how to look for lots of cool things in your chart. And then the the houses are a monster. Because there's just so much. All right, so these are just a beginner series. If you like the video and you comment and like and show me that you like it, I'll continue it. I will continue the series because I just want to do stuff that is useful for beginners. If you're finding value out of these mini lessons, I also have a YouTube channel where I will be doing a lot more in-depth lessons, which is Lucy's Astrology. All right, guys, until next time, bye.